First of all, just give us a broad overview on how you viewed that.
Yeah, of course. We took the unusual step of releasing the audio from this situation not long after it happened. We wanted to show everybody what was very quickly apparent to us was a pretty significant human error, loss of concentration. And of course, we're all disappointed that the VAR system didn't step in to rectify a clear error that we'd seen on the field with the disallowing of the goal. And nobody's more disappointed than the officials themselves. They take pride in their work. They want to be a positive influence on the game. And of course, in this situation, that wasn't the case. Of course, without VAR, that disallowed goal would still have been a disallowed goal. But VAR exists to step in when we make a wrong decision on the field. So, of course, we're disappointed. And our job then was to try to find out what happened and what we could do to prevent that sort of thing happening in the future.
Lots of people I've spoken to after the event said, OK, well, the ball went out again 30 seconds later. Yeah. Why can't the referee? It's an exceptional circumstance. It's not a standard VAR mistake, let's say, a subjective decision. This is a massive one. Why can't the referee just say, let's stop the game and let's go back 30 seconds?
Yeah, I heard quite a few people ask that question. I understand why people would ask that question. And actually, the VAR and the AVAR asked themselves that question too. When the penny dropped as to what had happened, I think 20 seconds had passed. And at that point, they considered whether or not they could intervene to stop the game, but they recognise that the laws of the game as set by FIFA and the International FA Board doesn't allow that. There's obviously a process in place that sits in the laws of the game about how we use VAR to make sure it's delivered consistently throughout every league in the world, and it doesn't allow you to go back in those circumstances, and as such they decided not to intervene. But I understand why that question was asked, and I know that the International FA Board are, in fact, before this situation happened, I knew they were going to do a full review of the laws of the game relating to the use of VAR. It's been in place for 7 years now. When it was written, there'd never been a game utilising VAR anywhere in the world. They put a protocol in place, and it served the game really well. But now we've got lived experience of situations like we saw this week, then, we can feed into that as well. And the IFAB will look at whether or not there's a need to tweak some of it. And I'm sure that they'll be looking at this aspect of how VAR is used as well. Was
the referee aware of all this that was happening around him as the game was going on?
No, it wasn't. I know people talked about, the expression on his face, giving a telltale sign in you, but he didn't know at all till the end of the game. I think it's better if you don't know. You want to stay focused in the moment. You don't want this in your mind when you're trying to make decisions throughout the rest of the game. So I think it's better that he doesn't know, and in this case, he certainly didn't, and nor did any of the other on-field officials.